Hi, I'm Tim, and welcome to the Research Lab. Today, I'm going to be answering some of market research's biggest questions. Can I have the first question, please? Thank you. So, why would I pay for research when I can just ask ChatGPT? Aha, okay. So we get asked this one quite a lot by quite a few different people. If I'm perfectly honest, ChatGPT just cannot replicate what a human can at the end of the day. AI takes in information, it takes it in from all over the internet and all these sort of web pages and things that are created there, but what it cannot do is create things of its own. So it cannot come up with the natural emotion, for instance, to a consumer product. Like, what does a consumer think of, a cuddly toy, for instance? How does it make them feel? ChatGPT cannot actually replicate that in comparison to what we see from an actual human respondent. Next question, please. Thank you. I almost got that one. So, can synthetic respondents replace real people? This is a tricky one because I think it's come up a lot recently, and especially with, as we were speaking about AI, again, it's something that they cannot create new data for this. So I think it can be really, really helpful to try and boost base sizes, for instance, in tricky niche audiences. Say we're looking at Northern Ireland, males 18 to 24. Now, it's really, really difficult to get a decent base size in that specific area. However, we can use synthetic data to try and boost those numbers and try and give us a bit of a higher base size in order to make those answers a bit more robust. But the question is, can we ever replace actual new data that's being created by real respondents? I don't think so. So I think it's one of these things where it can be used to help bolster results. I don't think it necessarily can replace real people, certainly not in the long run and not overall. I think as well, what synthetic data can do, depending on the data it's been trained on, depending on what the algorithm is for it, it can simply create noise in your data. So there have been a few studies recently where we've tried to replace more around 10 or 12% of respondents with data that's synthetic. And all that's happened is it's created noise. It's not created more usable insights. And in addition to that, one of the more recent research articles that came out said we could maybe use around 5%, which, to be perfectly honest, is within normal error boundaries anyways. So at that point, it doesn't seem too useful. Next question, please. Thank you. Is market research too slow for modern business? No, I don't think so. I think if anything, market research is becoming quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker. Speed seems to be the topic of the day nowadays, and the fact that we can be so agile in what we're doing in market research is actually very helpful for the industry. Whether or not that's because people are, for instance, wanting to hear the reactions of people who have seen an advert that's only been released in the last couple of days, or if it's about a new release of a new season of a TV show. We have people that can turn around 2,000 people in a sample within 24 hours. So I don't think it's becoming too slow. I think if anything, people can make it slow, and it can be as slow as you want or as fast as you want. Cheers. Are insights teams becoming extinct? I hope not. I'm not personally on insights team, and therefore I don't think I have as much insight actually into this question as I should do. However, if anything, like we've been speaking about, market research is booming in a lot of aspects, and I think insights teams are the people that are driving that because they're able to extract the actual information that we want from all these data sets that we're creating. Data is becoming faster and faster and faster. We're being able to get respondents in from anywhere in the world much more quickly than we ever have before. And insights teams are the people that are actually using that data. If we don't have the teams themselves, then what use is having the data here? And I know that obviously, like, being at the Market Research Awards recently, you could see the impact that insight teams have on whether that's political issues or social issues alongside the consumer side of things. So I think they're a really important part of the industry and something that's not going to go away anytime soon. Your finest question, please. Thank you. Has AI killed market research? No, I don't think AI's killed market research. I think it's certainly changed it, and it's changing the way that we look at responders and the way we look at responses. The way that we scrutinize the data has changed, and we need to be looking at it closely to make sure that we're not seeing AI within the data where we don't want it. However, I do think that it's also helped us to create efficiencies in market research. We're seeing much quicker turnarounds for things like coding, for open-end checking, relevancy, things like that are really being helped by the AI revolution, shall we say. And it's really helping us to maximize our efficiency in the industry. I think in a similar vein to, for instance, the programming industry, where you've got vibe coding coming in as a massive thing. At the end of the day, you don't want a vibe coder coding something very important, like for instance, your infrastructure of a country. So in the same way, we don't want AI respondents and AI respondents taking over in the market research industry, because it's not the same level of detail and the same level of insight that you can retrieve from a real human response. Next question, please. Thank you. Ooh, spicy question. Are researchers solving real-world problems or just justifying their jobs? I think everyone nowadays is just justifying their job in some respects, but ultimately I do think that we produce real value for companies and for people, whether or not that's in political issues, whether or not that's in consumer issues. We are always providing value and communicating data from real people, because how else do you understand what consumers are thinking or what people are thinking about in the real world? You know, there's no immediate feedback system on many of the things that we look into. So we are extracting the data from people and really trying to understand these issues and these problems. Ooh, thank you. What does the future of market research look like? Very different, I think, to what we see now. I think, you know, the market research industry is constantly evolving, and over the next 5-10 years, I doubt it's going to look the same as it does today. With the advent of AI, what we're seeing, the rapid progress in that, I think it's going to definitely have its place within the industry. And whether that's synthetic data or whether that is improving the processes that we use on a day-to-day basis, I'm not entirely sure where it lies. But I do know that at some point it may be the case that we need to move back to more qualitative interviews or more face-to-face. And there's going to be a change that happens at some point. Whether or not that is within the next 5 or the next 20 years, who's to say? Either way, I think whatever the future market research holds, let's all enjoy the ride and see where we get to.